Been a while since I've been kind of online doing videos. A lot going on. I just haven't put the time aside to do it, but I just wanted to do this today. In terms of, are we truly in the end times, or are we misinterpreting? Where are we in terms of the prophecy that Jesus spoke about in Matthew 24 regarding the end times? Is the world really changing around us? We see so much information going around, and I've been doing a lot of study on this whole thing of the global reset, and I just kind of wanted to concentrate on one or two things today and give you a little bit of a stern, not a stern, but a hard warning that they are starting to advertise what they are going to do. They're telling us what they're going to do now. They don't hide it anymore. The unseen enemy is at work. Guys, if it's your first time here, it's great to have you. Become part of the family if you like the video. Just hit that subscribe button and also hit the little bell to keep up to date. But guys, just look at how they advertise this. It's the World Economic Forum, and they're talking about the Great Reset. Have a look and see what you think yourself. As you can see there, they're plainly telling us what way they want to work this and what they want to do. You know, the kind of the main factors they're looking to reset, the kind of the words that they use, would be the land and sea, the food and the finance. They'd be the major things that they kind of want to change and want to control eventually. Guys, there's so much information on the global reset, and I wanted to kind of concentrate and I'll do like probably a series, 2 major videos of so much information on it, but I'll do that separately. But what I wanted to do was just to give you a little bit of warning on what they are planning to do, because they're not shy about it anymore. They're telling you exactly what they want to do. Some people call it like a distribution of wealth. They're getting rid of capitalism, getting rid of free trade, and everything is for all. But guys, what they truly want to do, and many of you have seen it, many videos going around of some hierarchy people talking about that the population is too big. We need to reduce the population. We need to get people off private land and onto government-owned land. They want to fully control everything that we do. Now, the main focus for me today wasn't on that particular issue, but to show you that this is all very, very biblical and prophetic. Now, I've been arguing this with myself. I've been going, that's why I haven't really been on doing many videos. I've been going over it in my head. I've been fighting the notion that things are really starting to move, that the clock is ticking, that the ball is rolling. Or am I misinterpreting something here? Guys, we are truly in the end times. We truly are. The Olivet Discourse, when in Matthew 24, when Christ spoke to his disciples about his return, when they asked those questions, you know, when will be the sign of your coming and the end of the age? And Christ gave a list of things that were going to happen in that day. Some people call it the birth pangs. And when we look around today, we can see that these things are happening. People at the moment are in so much fear, walking around with masks on, wondering, are they going to be the next person to catch the virus? Are there family members? Is it truly there? There's confusion around figures and death rates, etc. We just don't know where to look. The confusion that they've caused with this. We see famines, we see plagues, we see all sorts of things, fires and earthquakes and all types of things happening around the world. Everything that Christ spoke about. We have our false messiahs and false prophets out there deceiving people. Yes, they are there. But where I truly believe we are today, in Matthew 24, the last pinpoint before the end would come, Christ spoke and said, and this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. Never before has a generation been able to reach the world the way we can today. We have the printing press, which kind of started that off with the books and the papers, etc. Then came kind of the TV, which started to do that as well. You have what you call your tele-evangelists. Now we have the internet, or the Internet of Things. And I truly believe that it has been preached everywhere. Now, people will fight me on this and say there's many places that haven't. I wouldn't say there's many, there's few. Maybe they haven't received. But many people have heard the gospel but rejected it. I've openly seen huge gatherings of Muslims who would be apologetic towards Islam and would know the Bible inside out but reject the gospel altogether. And that's a huge amount of people. A huge amount of people. We are truly the generation that has seen everything coming to pass together. And the next big prophetic move, some people will say, will be maybe the tribulation, the start of the tribulation, or if you believe in the pre-trib rapture, maybe the rapture occurs first. I don't know exactly how it's going to happen. I'm not 100% on it. I personally believe that the rapture does happen before the Great Tribulation fully begins, and some people say it's 7 years or 3.5 years, and Daniel 70 weeks, but is it only 1260 days? Not that all of that is irrelevant, guys. What I'm trying to do and the message I'm trying to get across is that we are that final generation, and our prayer now is more important than ever before. What we pray for. And I'm looking, the new year is coming, 2021, which I think will be quiet at first, but that's going to come with a bang. We should be praying that we're ready to be able to reach the lost as much as possible amidst all the confusion. 2020 has been an absolute year of chaos and confusion. We have the pandemic itself. People, at first there was clarity and then there's confusion with numbers and etc. and death rates. Then we had the riots, the causing chaos and confusion there between races. And the white privilege or the black privilege, etc. All of these issues coming to the forefront. Then when lately we have the presidential election, chaos, confusion. This is what they do, guys. This is all part of it. God is not an author of confusion, so he didn't do that. Someone else is the author of confusion or creating the confusion. But guys, we in the light as believers should know and should see in the unseen realm that the enemy is at work, and it's something I spoke with my sister about recently. That in everything that's happening, whether we have people that we're kind of fighting with or arguing with, like a bad relationship, etc., that the enemy is behind that person, using that person. And a great example of that is when Christ rebuked Peter and said, "Get behind me, Satan." So there is an unseen enemy behind everything that is happening. And then Paul clearly states to us in Ephesians that the battle is not against the flesh and blood. It's not against it. As much as we get frustrated against people, maybe not believing what we're trying to tell them, to not be fearful. Don't be afraid of what they're calling this as a pandemic, that God is in full control, or anything that we're trying to tell them when it comes to the gospel and they don't believe and the frustration is there. The enemy is not that person. The enemy is unseen behind the person. That we need to be putting on the full armour. Paul spoke it clearly, and he says this. He says, put on the full armour of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. He's always scheming. Everything he does is a scheme. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers and against the authorities and against the powers of this dark world and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Guys, there is a spiritual battle going on at the moment, and it's getting stronger with intensity and frequency. It's almost tangible. We can feel the heavy weight of it. I do at times. I can feel so heavy. It feels like you cannot see the light. Why aren't people seeing what I'm seeing? But God is going to break through to people and take the veil away from their eyes. Those who call out for the truth shall receive truth. We are just the messengers to deliver the seed. Because we truly are, and I'm saying this with all fervency, that we truly are the generation that will see Christ coming back. Only this generation can do or can fulfill what Jesus spoke about in Matthew 24. We are seeing the whole paragraph coming together at once. Yes, we are truly seeing the gospel being preached, the kingdom. Some of it's not great. We have preachers who aren't great. Yes, some will call them kind of false preachers and, wolves in sheep's clothes. Yes, but there's plenty of people preaching the true gospel and has reached millions. But a lot of people reject the truth, guys. And this is what we have to understand, that most will reject. When Christ spoke about it, about the seed being scattered onto different grounds, a lot of it was just stone, never absorbed. Most of the world is going to be that way. But we are truly the generation, the final generation, seeing all prophecy coming to pass. Now, we don't know exactly what's going to happen next. We don't, and I wouldn't dare to say what exactly could happen, but nothing would shock me anymore. We're seeing the tinfoil hats. We're probably right. You have your digital immunity passport for vaccinations. Not that the vaccination is going to be the mark of the beast. I know there's people arguing about that topic. I just don't like being forced to take stuff that I feel I don't need. And I won't take it. And that's a decision that you guys have to make. But I believe Revelation 13 is happening. We're seeing like a foretelling of what it looks like. They are getting rid of the middle class, because the middle class is the power to bring the balance of democracy. Because when you only have rich and you only have poor, the rich dictate everything because the poor need. And that's exactly the path that we're headed down, guys. Just a short, brief message, guys, regardless of what happens. And I'm going to do more, kind of more detail on some of that stuff. But I just wanted to let you know that there is an enemy in the unseen realm, an unseen enemy who is there to try to take you down. And we as believers need to press in and really see those chains broke and see the enemy for who it truly is. The person you're fighting with is not the enemy. It's the enemy behind the person in the unseen realm who is the true enemy. Regardless what happens, guys, God is always in control. Until next time, keep the faith.